Ronaldinho's emotional plea to Messi after the Argentine superstar announced his retirement from soccer. Messi has spoken, and his words just shook the entire soccer world. Right here, right now, I have a bombshell you did not see coming. Because Leo Messi, the man who won absolutely everything, the one who made entire stadiums weep, who lifted the World Cup in Qatar at 35 years old, and made history again in the Copa America, has dropped the very words that no soccer fan ever wanted to hear. Messi is calling it quits. He says it is over. His body needs rest. His mind has fulfilled every dream, and deep down, he knows it is finally time to hang up his boots. But hold on, because what is coming next is way bigger than a simple retirement announcement, much bigger. I will share every single detail of exactly what Ronaldinho, his idol and his big brother in soccer, the man who gave him his first hug in a Barcelona jersey, begged Messi for when he heard the news. It is a plea that has moved millions of people across the planet. And that is not all. I will also reveal the statement made by David Beckham, the co-owner of Inter Miami, a man who moved heaven and earth to sign Messi, and now claims he will do the impossible to convince him to keep playing. Plus, there is a hidden detail in Beckham's statement that has not been reported anywhere, and it is going to leave you completely speechless. I promise you 3 things today. First, Ronaldinho's complete message. Every single word, the raw emotion, what he said, and exactly why he said it. Second, the move Beckham is preparing behind the scenes so Messi does not hang up his boots. And third, the part that personally hit me the hardest, the real reason. The one Messi has not shared in public, but his inner circle has leaked, revealing why the Argentine feels he cannot go on. Stick around, because this is going to be an emotional roller coaster. Before we go on, if you grew up watching Messi, or if you ever cried tears of joy after one of his legendary goals, if you ever stayed awake until 3 in the morning to watch an Inter Miami game from Spain, New York, Los Angeles, or anywhere else, this is going to touch your soul. Drop a like right now, because this is a story everyone needs to see. Let's get right into it. Messi spoke just hours ago, and whenever Messi speaks, the entire world stops to listen. He is not just another player or another athlete. He is the man who defined an entire era of sports history. 8 Ballon d'Or awards, 1 World Cup, 2 Copa Americas, and 4 Champions Leagues. Over 800 goals scored by the most gifted feet to ever step on a pitch. And today, with a calm voice and eyes revealing a final decision, he admitted his body no longer responds like it used to, and his knees are feeling heavy, that his ankles remind him every morning of the painful toll of 20 years at the elite level, and above all, that he has absolutely nothing left to prove. Think about that, absolutely nothing left to prove to anyone. That is what he said. Do you know what that means coming from a guy who went toe-to-toe with Cristiano Ronaldo for 15 years? A man who endured brutal criticism for not winning a World Cup until he did at 35, who changed continents, leagues, and lives while still scoring goals like a 20-year-old kid. It means his fire has gone out, and when Messi's fire fades, the game of soccer loses something it will never get back. Never. You hear me? Personally, as a fan of pure soccer, as a guy who has watched this man pull off physics-defying miracles, I refuse to accept it. I refuse, and I am not alone. Because as the news began spreading across social media, locker rooms, and front offices, there was one person who picked up the phone before anyone else, ahead of the journalists, the club executives, and even his teammates. And that person was Ronaldinho, the man who literally introduced Messi to the world. Remember that? Back in the year 2005, a skinny, shy 17-year-old Messi, looking like he could not hurt a fly, scored his very first goal for the first team. And what happened? Ronaldinho picked him up, carried him on his back in front of the entire Camp Nou, and told the world to remember that name, because he would become the greatest ever. That was over 20 years ago. And Ronaldinho was right, he was absolutely right. The bond between Ronaldinho and Messi was never just a typical relationship between any 2 normal teammates. It was more like a big brother seeing something special in his younger sibling that the kid did not even understand yet. Ronaldinho was Barcelona's biggest superstar when Messi was promoted from the youth squad. He was the best in the world, the Ballon d'Or winner, and the smile of soccer. Instead of feeling threatened by this rising Argentine prodigy, do you know what he did? He protected him, took him under his wing, and taught him how to have fun on the pitch. He told him soccer was about joy, not suffering. He gave a 17-year-old kid who had just left Rosario the confidence he needed like air. And now, 20 years later, when Messi says he is leaving, Ronaldinho is the first to step up. A man forever grateful for his friendship, who has always been there in the shadows, cheering for every title, goal, and record. But hold on, because I still haven't told you exactly what he said. That comes later, and I promise once you hear it, you will understand why half the world is so deeply moved. Here is a quick teaser. Ronaldinho did not ask him to keep playing out of obligation. He did not say you have to keep going because you are the best. No, what he said goes much deeper. It is way more personal, and it connects to something that happened during this recent 2026 World Cup, something Ronaldinho saw himself that proves Messi is not finished yet. Not yet. Hold on to that thought, because that is the key to everything. Now, to truly understand the weight of this moment, we have to look at what Messi did over these last few months. Because Messi is not dragging himself to retirement, he is not walking away with his head held low. This guy just played a World Cup, the 2026 tournament in the United States, Mexico, in Canada too, and what he pulled off was out of this world. Argentina entered this tournament as defending champions with that Qatar star on their chest, with a 39-year-old Messi as captain, knowing this was likely his final major run with the national team. And listen to this. Probably because even he did not know if his body could endure a tournament of this scale. Injuries had been plaguing him all season long at Inter Miami. The hamstrings, the left ankle, those muscle pains that, at his age, do not just vanish with a massage and an ice pack. Yet, Messi still went. He went because Argentina needed him. He went because the fans begged for him, because deep down, soccer itself demanded it, and what he did there was absolute madness. Matches where it seemed like time simply did not exist for him, passes that sliced through entire defensive lines, assists that set up strikers completely alone against the keeper without anyone understanding how the ball got there. And goals, those legendary goals that only Messi can score, starting with an impossible dribble, followed by a change of pace that freezes 3 defenders, and ending with a curler into the far post that the keeper cannot even glimpse. For me, and I say this from the bottom of my heart, what Messi achieved in this World Cup was final proof that we are looking at the greatest player ever. Not Pele, not Maradona, not Cruyff, not Di Stefano. Doing this at 39, with a body that constantly protests, is mind-blowing. With pressure that would crush anyone else, this is not something normal players do. Only the chosen one does that. And now, he says he is leaving. Do you understand how massive this is? But do not just look at the surface, because behind Messi's public statement lies an untold story, a deeper reality that those closest to him have witnessed. The people living with him in Miami, those who watch him train every day, have started leaking details over the last few hours. And that hidden truth is about what Messi actually feels, not what he says to the cameras. In public, he has stated that he has won everything and feels tired. That is true, but there is more. His inner circle speaks of a Messi who has spent months reflecting on his legacy. A Messi who wonders if staying one more year might tarnish everything he has built. He has watched other legends retire too late, becoming shadows of themselves. This terrifies him. It scares him more than any opponent, more than any injury. To be remembered dragging his feet on the pitch instead of flying. I get it, I really do. But as a soccer fan, as a fan who cherished every single second of watching him play, this feels like a tragedy because Messi, even now, even at 39, remains capable of things 99% of players on earth cannot even dream of doing. Messi is still Messi. And that talent does not just vanish overnight. Now comes the big part, because everything up to this point was just the context. What is coming next is the exact reason you clicked on this video. Ronaldinho heard the news at basically the same time as the rest of the world, but his reaction was not like any normal fan. He did not just post a nice tweet as a former player and go to dinner. No. So he picked up his phone, called Messi, and what he said during that call has leaked over the last few hours, giving goosebumps to everyone who has heard it. But before I tell you, I need you to understand one more thing. I need you to understand who Ronaldinho is to Messi personally, because he is not just the guy who carried him on his back at Camp Nou. He is so much more. Ronaldinho was the first elite footballer who believed in Messi unconditionally. Back when everyone claimed Leo was too small and too fragile, too quiet, Ronaldinho insisted he was the best he had ever seen. Even when doctors doubted his growth treatments would let him reach the top level, Ronaldinho told him he was going to win the Ballon d'Or, and he meant it. He looked straight at him with that huge smile. And Messi truly believed him. I mean, how do you not believe a guy who could dribble past 5 players with a smile? That connection, that brotherhood never broke. Years passed. Different clubs, different continents. Ronaldinho had his issues off the pitch, his struggles, his dark moments. But Messi never let go of his hand, ever. He was always there in private. No cameras, no headlines. And Ronaldinho knows it. So when Messi talks about walking away, Ronaldinho feels he has not just the right, but the absolute duty to speak up. Listen, this is what he said. Ronaldinho begged Messi not to retire right now. He did not bring up statistics, records, or multi-million-dollar contracts. He spoke straight from the heart, telling Messi that what he had accomplished during this 2026 World Cup had left him absolutely mesmerized. Watching him play brought back the exact same deep joy he felt 20 years ago during their Barca training sessions. Even at 39, Messi still gave him that feeling of watching something completely unique, something that words or tactics can never explain, something that is just pure art. Ronaldinho told Messi he is not just a close friend, he is also his fan, his number one fan who never misses a single Inter-Miami match. Every single time Messi plays, he sits right in front of the television screen, screaming at every goal, like a crazy 15-year-old kid. Can you even picture that? Ronaldinho Gaucho, Ballon d'Or, or winner, World Cup champion with Brazil, one of the greatest ever, sitting on his couch, cheering for Messi like an ordinary fan. That, guys, is the true definition of real admiration, real respect, and a real love for soccer. Now look at what comes next, because this is the part that completely broke me. Ronaldinho confessed to Messi that he deeply regrets retiring when he did, feeling like he had more, much more. The game slipped away too soon because of things off the pitch. He knows he made mistakes, and he does not want Messi to make those same mistakes, because Messi, unlike him, still has the fitness, and still has the legs, still having his head on straight, still having that incredible magic. You cannot train the kind that is born with you and dies with you. Ronaldinho told him, "You are still the best player in the world." Those exact words. The best player in the world at 39. And Ronaldinho is not saying this out of politeness or friendship. He says it because he truly believes it, because he has seen it. He saw Messi do things in this World Cup that no other player on the planet can do right now. And here is the massive bombshell I was holding back. Ronaldinho did not just ask him to keep playing, he begged him to think about the 2030 World Cup. Did you hear that right? The 2030 World Cup. In Spain, Portugal, and Morocco. Messi would be 42. Sounds insane, right? Like pure delusion. But Ronaldinho was completely serious. He told him, if anyone can do it, it is you. If anyone can play a World Cup at 42 and make a difference, it is you, Leo. Nobody else in soccer history. Just you. And let me ask you, crazy. It is honestly just crazy. Because if you told me this about any other player, I would agree it is impossible to compete at the highest level at 42. But we are talking about Messi, the guy who won a World Cup at 35 as tournament MVP, and who at 39 just conjured magic in another World Cup. Are we really going to put limits on this man? Seriously? Now let me tell you what I think as a fan who has watched Messi since he was 17. Ronaldinho is absolutely right. I do not care what the analysts say, or the physios, or anyone staring at stats under a microscope. Ronaldinho is absolutely right because he understands what statistics simply can never capture. He knows Messi is not just some average, normal player. Normal rules do not apply, and when you have that talent, that intelligence, and that vision, age is just a number, a stupid number. But obviously, the choice is Messi's, and he seems to have made up his mind, or so he says. And that is where our second major player enters the story, because Ronaldinho is not the only one reacting. Someone else has a massive, absolutely gigantic interest in Messi staying on the pitch. And that person is David Beckham. Beckham, for those who do not know, is not just a stylish, eccentric former player. He is the owner of Inter Miami, the man who brought Messi to MLS, the man who made the impossible happen, getting Leo Messi to play soccer in the United States. And what Messi has meant to Inter Miami? You can't even put it into words. You measure it in sold-out tickets and millions of shirts sold, in broadcasting rights that multiplied overnight, and sponsorship deals pouring in from every corner of the globe. Messi transformed Inter Miami from an ambitious project into a massive global phenomenon, and Beckham knows it better than anyone. So when Beckham heard Messi wants to retire, what do you think happened? Do you think he just sat there doing nothing? Absolutely not. Beckham came out with a statement that is a mix of pleading, deep admiration, and pure strategy. Here is the breakdown. But first, understand this: when Beckham talks about Messi, he is not talking like some suit losing his most valuable corporate asset. He talks like a guy who actually knows elite soccer inside and out. He is a guy who played alongside Zidane and Roberto Carlos, wearing the shirts of United, Madrid, Milan, and PSG. He played for the Galaxy, and he sees something in Messi that transcends sports. Beckham says Messi simply cannot stop now. Literally, the soccer world still wants and needs to witness his talent. What Messi does with a ball at his feet is a gift to humanity. Hanging up his boots now would deprive the planet of that gift far too soon. And these are not empty words. Beckham added something very few people expected. He said he is going to do absolutely everything in his power to convince Messi to keep playing. Everything. He is going to talk to him. He will sit down with his family. He will lay out a project to reignite his passion. And here is the exact detail you need to know. According to sources close to the Inter Miami front office, Beckham is prepping a truly massive contract renewal for Messi. We are talking about numbers that could reach 70 million euros a year between salary and image rights. 70 million euros. I repeat it because I want you to absorb it. 70 million a year just to keep Messi around for one more season. That is almost 6 million euros a month, nearly 200,000 euros per game. It is a massive sum, but it actually reflects the revenue he brings to the club. And there is more. Beckham isn't just offering cash, he is pulling on emotions. He publicly declared that Messi is the most beautiful player he has ever seen. He said that when he watches Messi on the pitch, he feels like a kid again. Messi's soccer charms the entire world, and that magic has no expiration date. I will take a stand here. What Beckham is doing isn't business. It is an act of pure love for soccer. Because Beckham knows that when Messi retires, Inter Miami will lose a piece of its soul. Sure, they will still be a decent club, but they will never be the same. They won't have that magic. No spark, no brilliance, and no man who could fill stadiums just by stepping onto the pitch. Beckham wants to delay that inevitable moment. He wants the world to enjoy him a bit longer, and that is truly admirable. But here is the question that has been burning in my mind since this whole story broke. Will 70 million euros from Beckham be enough to convince Messi? Will the emotional pleas of legends like Ronaldinho be enough? Or has Messi already made up his mind, immune to money, friendship, or begging? See, Messi has never been a player driven by money. Never. When he came to Inter Miami, it wasn't for a payday. It was about the project, the quality of life, his family, and actually wanting a brand new experience. And if Messi feels that fire is gone, it won't matter if they lay out 100 million euros, or 200 million, or even €1 billion. If the fire is gone, Messi simply won't play. Simple as that, brutally honest. And that brings up a tough question we really need to think about together. Is asking him to stay selfish? Are Ronaldinho and Beckham being selfish? Because on one hand, I completely get them. Who doesn't want to keep watching Messi play? Who doesn't want one last dribble, one last back heel, one final stadium-shaking goal? But on the other hand, hasn't he earned the right to decide when he goes? Hasn't he earned the right to walk away on his own terms, head held high? With every trophy in the world in his showcase, without anyone telling him what to do? And that is the real dilemma because both sides are right. Messi deserves to retire when he wants. The world deserves to keep watching. These two truths clash, and there is no resolving it. Now, let me share something the media is completely ignoring. To me, this point is absolutely critical, because the reactions from Ronaldinho and Beckham are not the only ones that just dropped. Ever since the news broke, a massive wave of reactions has poured in from players, coaches, and soccer legends who are begging Messi to please rethink his decision. Neymar, who shared a locker room with Messi and considers him a true brother, posted a message saying soccer without Messi is like a sky with no stars. Love it or hate it, that single line sums up exactly what millions are feeling right now. Suarez, his other brother, the one who has cried with Messi more times than you can fathom, said he respects whatever Messi decides, but admitting it is going to be incredibly hard to accept a world without Leo on the pitch. Xavi, the midfield genius who set him up with hundreds of passes that turned into goals, said Messi is the greatest gift soccer ever gave to humanity, and we shouldn't unwrap that gift until Messi himself says so. Then there is Guardiola, Pep Guardiola, the man who turned Messi into the greatest player ever, building an entire squad around the Argentine to create the most beautiful football the world has ever seen. He had a reaction that gave me chills. He said he won't speak publicly because what he is feeling right now is just too big for words. And when Guardiola, a guy who always has something to say, admits he is speechless, you know it is serious. But none of those reactions carry the depth and raw emotion of Ronaldinho's plea. Because Ronaldinho didn't just watch from afar, he didn't release a statement or post a nice tweet. He picked up the phone, called his little brother, and poured his heart out. And there is one specific sentence from that private call that leaked, and it completely broke me. Ronaldinho told Messi that he left soccer too early, and not a single day goes by where he doesn't regret it. Don't let that happen to you, Leo. You still can. I can't. Do it for both of us. Just do it for both of us. Have you ever heard anything more emotional in the world of soccer? Ronaldinho, the guy who dribbled with a smile, nutmegged players for fun, and danced samba with the ball, begging Messi to keep playing for the both of them. Because he can't step onto a professional pitch anymore. His legs simply won't let him. His time has passed, and he doesn't want Messi to waste his. Man, that is friendship. That is brotherhood. That is soccer in its purest form. If that doesn't get to you, I don't know what will. Because the story of Ronaldinho and Messi is a soccer tale that transcends titles, goals, and Ballons d'Or. It is the story of two geniuses meeting at the exact right moment. Ronaldinho was on top of the world when Messi emerged, and instead of competing, he chose to teach, decided to protect, and decided to pass the torch with a generosity rarely seen in elite sports. And Messi took it all, absolutely everything, taking it to a level not even Ronaldinho could have imagined. And now, 20 years later, the circle seems to close. The student announces he is leaving, and the master, on the other end of the line, begs him not to go just yet. Let's go back to Beckham because there is more you need to know. He didn't just make a public statement. According to sources close to Inter Miami, Beckham has a plan that is far more ambitious than a simple renewal. He is reportedly designing a special role for Messi, a role that would combine playing a limited number of games, the most important of the season, with acting as a global ambassador and academy mentor, a contract that could run for 3 years, guaranteeing Messi total earnings of €200 million through salary, image rights, and equity. €200 million, a figure that would make Messi not just the highest paid player in MLS history, but also a co-owner of the club. A move that would make Messi a permanent part of Inter Miami, even after he hangs up his boots. Beckham, according to sources, believes that offering Messi the chance to play less and manage his workload, without the brutal wear and tear of a full season, could make the Argentine change his mind. Because Messi's issue isn't a lack of motivation, talent, or quality, the real problem is his body. It is the brutal toll of playing 60 or 70 games a year at 39. And if Beckham lifts that burden, telling him to just play 20 matches, whichever ones he wants, whenever he wants, leaving him free the rest of the time, the entire equation changes. And to me, as a fan, that sounds like the perfect solution, keeping Messi on the field for the world to enjoy. That way, Messi keeps doing what he does best without completely destroying his body. Beckham keeps his superstar, and in the end we all win. Everyone. But of course, all of this rests on a single person, on just one man, the most humble, private, and fiercely determined player football has ever seen, Leo Messi. And if Messi says no, that is it. There is no changing his mind. Now, before we wrap up, I want to talk about something absolutely crucial. What does football lose if Messi retires tomorrow? It loses the last pure genius, the last player who made you feel like football is truly art. Because with all respect to Hand, Mbappe, Vinicius, and Bellingham, to all the stars of the new generation, none of them have what Messi has, absolutely none. They are spectacular, powerful, and athletic, but none can stop your heart with a single dribble. None of them will make you jump off the couch at 2 in the morning, screaming like crazy over an impossible play. Messi, yes, Messi still does it. At 39, with knees completely worn out and 20 elite seasons behind him, Messi still does it. And that, guys, is exactly what Ronaldinho is trying to tell him. That is what Beckham is trying to explain. It is not just for you, Leo, it is for all of us. It is for the 10-year-old kid watching you for the first time and falling in love with the game. It is for the grandfather watching you from his nursing home, feeling young all over again. It is for the Miami fan waiting in line for 3 hours just to watch you warm up. It is for everyone who needs to believe in magic. And if you think I am exaggerating, let me ask you one thing. Who are you going to watch once Messi is gone? Who will give you what Messi gives you? Who is going to fill that void? Nobody. Because that void cannot be filled. It stays there forever, like a hollow ache in the chest of global football. Now, one last thing, because I know you are wondering, can Messi make it to the 2030 World Cup, as Ronaldinho asked? Let us look at the numbers. Messi would be 42. The tournament is being hosted in Spain, Portugal, and Morocco. It would likely be the biggest tournament in soccer history due to its massive scale, and having Messi there, even in a limited role, even if it is just to play 30 minutes in a group stage match, it would be the most spectacular farewell you could possibly imagine. Is it physically possible? It is difficult, but not impossible. Kuyoshura played professional football at 56. Stanley Matthew did it at 50. With modern sports medicine and the control Messi has over his body, Combined with the discipline he has shown his entire career, he could absolutely do it if he wants, if that inner fire returns, and if the words of Ronaldinho and Beckham truly hit home. And as a fan, as someone who has lived through every moment of the Messi era, I want to believe. I want to believe Messi will listen to Ronaldinho and accept Beckham's offer, that he will play one more season, then another, and that in 2030 we will see him walk onto a pitch in Spain, wearing the Argentina jersey at 42, ready to give us one final chapter in the most beautiful story football has ever told. But if he does not, if Messi decides this is the end, then only one thing remains to be said. Thank you, Leo. Thank you for every single goal. Thank you for every dribble, for every match where you made us believe football is the most beautiful sport in the world. Thank you for the titles, for the tears, for the Ballon d'Ors, for Qatar, and for the Copa America, for everything. And thank you for being by far the greatest to ever step onto a pitch. Now, it is your turn. I want you to answer me in the comments below with total honesty. Do you think Messi should listen to Ronaldinho and keep playing? Or do you think he has earned the right to retire on top without explaining anything to anyone? And another thing, do you think Beckham's offer of 200 million euros is enough to convince a guy like Messi? Or do you think money no longer matters at this stage? And the biggest question of all, can you picture 42-year-old Messi playing in Spain at the 2030 World Cup? Is it a dream or a real possibility? Let me know your thoughts. Every opinion counts. Read what others are saying, because the debate is going to be incredible.